Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. This video is going to be a monthly plan with me. So I mentioned this in a couple different Plan With Me videos that I was planning to try and switch it up this year and bounce between weekly Plan With Me's, daily Plan With Me's, and then a monthly Plan With Me. I don't know if that many monthly Plan With Me's are going to be that interesting because this is just going to be kind of what I do to prepare for the month, not necessarily hear the specifics of me planning out the next month, but I thought I would bring you along. Originally, I was going to do this video front facing and I was gonna talk about it and then also kind of show you as I go through everything. But to be honest, I did not want to get ready today. Actually, I was gonna do this yesterday when I was getting ready for something else and I ran out of time. So then today I would be getting ready just to film this video. And so to be totally honest, I didn't want to go through that effort. So we're gonna do this kind of top-down style instead. You might still see me here or there doing some of the steps, but the bulk of the talking and explaining is going to be like this. So let's have a little bit of ambiance. I decided to light this candle. This candle has been lighting. Funny, this was actually a gift from one of you and I'm obsessed with the way that it smells, but it's all up against the edge, but I thought we would be a little, I don't know what the word is, ambiance of the candle. Okay, so step one, when it comes to planning out the next month, is going to be to decide which week I'm actually going to start the month. Obviously, the month starts on the 1st, but most of the time, the 1st is not a Monday. Now, there actually are a lot of Mondays that are the 1st this year, which is really awesome, but most months are not that way. So I will decide if I'm gonna start my month the week that it turns into the new month or the following week. And a lot of that will depend on how my goals have been going this month. Do I need that last weekend to get through some of my monthly goals? What are my other commitments? Because I like the weekend before my month starts to be able to do all of these steps and feel really prepared going into the new month. So the January to February transition could really go either way. February 1st is on a Thursday. So that last week could be January and you could wrap up January and kickstart February the following week. I am actually going to do the opposite and consider next week, which is still January for a couple of days, but consider that the first week of February. I won't necessarily start all of my personal daily habits that day, but when it comes to doing all of these updates and planning, and especially planning my business action steps, which is going to be part of this video, I want next week to be February. Part of it is January has felt so long. Anybody else? January just felt so long and I'm ready for a fresh start. So once I've made that decision and I have what weekend I'm going to be working on these steps, I'm actually doing this video on Friday, January 26th. If I wasn't filming it, I would do it these steps over the course of the weekend. So the next step is going to be to get a general sense of what my month looks like. What are my prior commitments? How many things do I have going on? If you've used the Goals with Laken planner, I've talked about this in terms of a scale of 1 to 10. How busy is your next month? And you'll see this a little bit later when we get to some monthly calendar steps that my February is very chill. There is not a whole lot going on. There's a lot of empty space. So that opened up the door for me to set up a lot of goals, which is my next step. So if you watched my goals video, I did this in my Goals with Laken planner. I talk in detail about every one of these steps and what it means to me, what I'm trying to accomplish with that step. So that is its own separate video, but that is the next step in this process. So I actually did this earlier in the week so that I could film my goals video. So I guess when I say I do these the weekend before, because I film my goals, that's not totally true. I will usually do it a little bit earlier. If I wasn't filming my goals video, I would do it all this weekend, but it's not that big of a deal. A couple of days doesn't make a huge difference. So step one is going to be to figure out what all those goal action steps are. And then I'm going to schedule them and actually put them in my calendar. So I actually already did this step as well. I did this step earlier this morning. It was a good filler thing on my to-do list when I had a gap in my morning. So I went ahead and scheduled all of these things. So for December daily, the way that I broke this down, because this is a big step, I scheduled it in 8 different chunks. So I kind of just estimated how many days I have left, how long it would take me to do them, how long it would take me to clean up from each session, and then my goal is to do 2 sessions a week. Now, if I had thought that through before I set my goals, I actually probably would have put it as a weekly step, but it's not that big of a deal. So that is all scheduled. Taking time to schedule these appointments, I actually lumped all of those together for now, which I may come to regret, but for now they're on my calendar to schedule all 3. There's time to work on, same thing here. I scheduled time to do both of these back to back because they're both travel related. But if I only get through one, that's okay. At least I have, have it broken down here. And then I have a time scheduled for all of these. I literally just put like appointments on my calendar to do all of these things. Now, one of the things I did do, like I mentioned, my February is pretty empty, and so I felt comfortable having all of these steps. What I did do though is actually schedule time for all of these in the first half of the month. That way I have some wiggle room. So if I don't get to things on the day that I planned, I have plenty of time to push it back and still get to the things by the end of the month. So those things are all scheduled. These things are also scheduled in my calendar. I don't have a spot on here to check off schedule. Maybe I should add that to this page, is like scheduling the weekly steps, and then thought about when I'm going to do my daily steps. So that is the next step in my process. All right, now we're gonna get into actually doing some things. So the next step in my process is updating a handful of wall calendars. All right, the lighting's kind of weird because the lamp is like right here, but this is the first set of wall calendars that I'm going to update here in my office. So I have had these, they're magnetic dry erase whiteboards. These are from Amazon. I have had these, not these exact ones. I did replace them when we moved, but I had them in our old apartment. So it's been at least 3 years, if not more than that, that I ordered these so that I could see the quarter, actually not even the next quarter, the next 3 months at a glance. And I love having them hang like above my desk here. And so I can see them all the time. And then again, because they're magnetic, I can have things hanging from them. So this is actually another step in the monthly planning, but I can't do this until literally the day before because the calendar for this doesn't get released until the day before. I've already swapped out my goal sheet. This is my weekly plan, my weekly schedule, and then my quarterly ones, obviously those aren't gonna change. But what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna take all of these off, and then I will take down January and obviously erase all of that. And then we're gonna move everything over. I'm gonna add some things to February. I didn't do this in January and I forgot how much I like seeing when the coaching calls are for the community. So that's what I will do first. I'll take February down, I'll add that. And if we had any other plans to add, I would add those too. But like I said, February is pretty empty. There's no other plans. And then I will take March, which we do have something added to this. Sam's brother and sister are actually coming to visit one weekend in March. So I'm gonna add that to that calendar, scooch them over, and then I will erase January and turn this into April. All right, here's the after of the whiteboard calendar. So added the goals with Laken call and the Super Bowl to February and scooted it down. March updated, scooted it down, and then went ahead and added in April. Also, I've just been using the marker that came with the dry erase boards. Now that I've used it enough, it's getting really smushy. I need to order some like thinner ones. I think I would enjoy this process more and not feel so crammed, especially like trying to fit that in. It doesn't fit anymore. Also, in case you're curious, we did buy season tickets to the Broadway and Chicago shows. That is why we have a show every single month, and it's like always on a Friday because that is what we have decided to do. It was a really, really good deal. And for people who like Broadway, it was just a no-brainer. Also, one more thing, while I was hanging this up, I found this little sticker on the back. Is it gonna focus on it? I, by recommendation of one of you, tried to put stickers to change these from Sunday start to Monday start, and I just could not stand the way that they looked. So I need to decide if I wanna try something different. I don't love that they're Sunday starts, but the stickers I tried, like I just tried stickers I had in my stash and I did not like the way that they looked. So TBD on that. All right, as much as I love my dry erase calendars in my office, because I'm not spending as much time in my office as I used to, I have started putting these calendars on the fridge. Now, yes, they make all kinds of cool like dry erase calendars for the fridge, and that would be awesome, but I was trying to keep it simple to just see if I even used it. And I've been doing this since basically the month after she was born. I think October, November was the first time that I did this. I am just printing these from like freecalendars.com or something like this. I picked my own layout where it's a Monday start. I can't remember if I added anything else like to make it for me. And basically I just have been printing them out. And so basically at the same time I update the calendars in my office, I update these as well. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and take off January. The only thing that's next week is that Sam has a doctor's appointment, which we added, but it doesn't really totally impact the rest of us. It's really more about things that impact like everybody in our family. And so then I'm gonna go ahead and scoot February up, which like I mentioned, there is nothing else to add there. And so then I will fill out the March one. I went ahead and printed it out. So I'm gonna add in the handful of things that we have in March and then get that one put on the fridge. All right, here's the after on the fridge. I went ahead and did add our swim lessons. That's all we have going on for February. A couple of other things for March, and then birthdays. We have a lot of birthdays in March. I didn't add my own birthday, which is also in March, but we have a lot of other family birthdays in March. I try to keep our fridge, this is not Plan With Me related, but I try to keep our fridge as simple as possible. Right now, we've got 2 save the dates for weddings we have later this year, and then postcards. Sam's best man is so sweet, and he has family in Slovenia, and when he was traveling, he sent Lila 2 postcards from Slovenia. It was so sweet. And then one of Sam's cousins sent her one from New York. So I just thought, those make me so happy to look at. So then the next step is going to be to plan out all of my work tasks and break down my work projects. So I actually do a general work plan at the beginning of the quarter, just a general sense of what are the quarterly projects and goals I want to achieve in my business. And I talked about those specific goals more in my quarterly goals video, like what my work goals are. And then each month I will assess, okay, which pieces of the projects have I done? What are the next steps? Do I need to break them down any further, etc.? And then actually map them out in my calendar. So I did talk about this whole process and showed it all in a video from like a year and a half ago called How I Plan My Life. That video for the most part does still apply. There's a couple of key differences, the biggest one being that I have a baby. And so having the amount of time that I had when I planned my life that way has drastically changed. And then the other big change is I actually do a lot of my HB90 task work planning digitally instead of on paper like I showed in that video. So the first piece of this is a rough calendar plan. What I mean by that is approximately how many hours each day do I have to work, knowing what I know now. And that is based on like my daughter's current nap schedule, other commitments that we have on various days I know that my mom can or cannot help because she does help watch my daughter a lot. And I get kind of a general sense of how many task blocks I think I might have. Also, if you've never heard me talk about task blocks before, this is a term that is used by Sarah Cannon, who created the Heart Breathings HB90 program that I use to break down my goals. Maybe I should have had this video go live. Actually, maybe this video is going live right before you can sign up. I think, wow, I did not plan that timing, to be totally honest. So this video is going live the last week of February, which means that at the beginning of March, it's typically on the 1st of like the month prior to the new quarter, she will open up the doors. So if you are interested in the HB90 system, doors are about to be open. I, in full disclosure, am an affiliate for the program because I absolutely love it and talk about it all the time anyways. So highly recommend you check that out if you are interested. So step 1 is to figure out my rough task blocks. And I do all of that in my Google Calendar. So then I go into a Google spreadsheet that I use where I have broken down all of my work goals for the quarter. And I will see how, in order to stay on pace with what I want to accomplish, how many task blocks do I need each week to achieve all the things I need to do each week. Now, some of them happen every single week, right? Like the weekly live call, my weekly community coaching call, those things are every single week. And then the other projects, it's, okay, this is how far I want to get this month. Here's approximately how many task blocks I'm gonna need each week in order to accomplish those projects. Now, obviously, this is a lot of guessing. For some of the things like the live, I know exactly how many task blocks, but for some of it, I'm totally guessing. And what I will tell you is that I still operate in task blocks of 30 minutes, even though in my real life, sometimes I'm only working in 15-minute chunks, just depending on what's going on with my little one. The other thing that's changed is I don't track it anymore. I don't track how long it takes me because that just adds a whole nother layer for me right now of stress in terms of trying to get the exact amount of time I spent on something. That hasn't been worth it for me. So I will figure out these task blocks. Then if this number is higher than that rough calendar plan, then I will go back and figure out where I can add in more hours. Now, if my quarterly plan is pretty good, which it has been so far, most of the time this number is not that much bigger than the rough plan, and I'm usually only trying to find a couple of extra hours each week. So then I will decide, am I trying to squeeze that in during the weekdays, asking my mom for extra help? Am I gonna put that on a Saturday or a Sunday when my husband isn't working and so he can have our daughter? Where do I want to fit in those hours? And then that is my plan, and I finalize the calendar for the month. Now, that does not mean that I don't update it on a weekly basis, because I absolutely do. Tasks don't get done and I have to push them off. And so I basically do this whole process every single week to make it more finalized. And then the last step is to update my Kanban board. All right, so here's the before of my Kanban board. There was one more sticky note here, which was to film this video. I moved it down on my planner for the day. So step one is gonna be to take off all of the ones that I did complete in the month of January. I showed in one of my prior weekly plan with me's that I have a little jar on my shelf where I'm keeping all of these so I can see all of my progress over the course of the whole year. In that video, I also contemplated leaving these here because I had plenty of space because I haven't been working as many hours as I used to, but I still want a fresh start for a new month. These are all of the sticky notes from January that I did not get to in January that I can carry over. Well, these are ones that that had scheduled and didn't get to. These are ones that are for this week, like upcoming week anyway. So I had just already, I guess, made them. So I'm gonna reuse all of these sticky notes. I keep all my sticky notes here in this little jar so that I can grab them if I need more. Typically, if I need more throughout the month, it's because I'm breaking something down further. But what I have been doing is color coordinating. So my goal that is related to the green sticky notes is green in my spreadsheet, and same with the teal. And then I've been using the pink for like my recurring tasks because it's very like Plan with Laken. But I think, y'all, that is my last pad of that hot pink, yeah. So this might be the last month that I use that hot pink, and then I might have to just use this coral. I bought this pack, like this color pack, I'm pretty sure on Amazon. And obviously I've used the pink a lot more than the other colors. So I need to either switch things around, or is it like, is there any way, maybe if I go to like the Post-it note website, that I can buy like an individual color by itself? I wonder if that's an option. And here is the after for the Kanban board. So I've got all my sticky notes made for February, all the ones that I'm gonna work on next week, and then the blank slate for me to move over all of the ones that I have finished. So that is it. Those are the steps that I do at the beginning of each month to prepare for the next month, to plan out all of my personal things, my personal goals, and then my work tasks. If you enjoyed this video, this format, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Like I said, I'm not sure how many more of these monthly plan with me's I will do because it's gonna be just super repetitive, but I thought it would be fun to share this process with you this month. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Hello. What's on my finger? Couple of monthly plan. I talk in so if you watch